This is Shane Vaughn. If you're unfamiliar, he's famously a leader of the Trump cult and what is now the Trump religion. A book just came out not too long ago by a guy named, I forget his name now, Hasgard Muller or something like that. Helgard Muller, sorry, name is Helgard Muller. This book just came out by him. Title is Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ. And it outlines a new theology for a brand new religion. A Trump-centered religion, which basically names him as a messiah, right? So I'm going through the book and reading about it and figuring out how the theology works and started to realize that Shane Vaughn bought into this theology a long time ago. This is Shane Vaughn. He's a televangelist, and he's one of the leaders of the Trump religion. So listen to what he has to say here. This is him kind of outlining the Trump religion. This is a fundamental piece of the Trump religion that he's about to lay on us. I think this is from November 2021. Check it out.
And he wrote down, we are going, he wrote a course, to New Israel, New Israel, New Israel.
He's talking about the founding fathers.
And when they came off the ship, they didn't plant an American flag. They planted the Christian flag. That is where George Washington prayed, right? There's a chapel right outside the Twin Towers where George Washington, that picture of him praying by the horse, that's where it happened. That's where he dedicated our nation in covenant to God. If you will make us a great nation, deliver us from tyranny, then we will serve you.
None of that's true. It's all completely fabricated. All of it from the Christian flag being planted on soil. Christian flag wasn't invented until like the late 1800s, I don't think. All the way to George Washington kneeling and praying where the Twin Towers fell. No to all of that. Literally all of it. It's all complete nonsense. But it outlines their theology. It outlines the theology of the Trump religion, which is America is the new Israel. It's in a new covenant with Yahweh. He's about to tell us how that relates to Trump in the next clip. Listen to the next one. I don't remember when. This one is recent. I think August or September 2022. Listen to what he has to say here about Donald Trump.
What is the prophetic seal that Yahweh placed upon Donald Trump and upon his true people?
Prophetic seal that God placed upon Donald Trump and his prophetic people. Seriously, think about the words that just came out of his mouth.
It is supernatural prosperity and blessings. Donald Trump carries the prophetic seal of the calling of God. He is Joseph. If you are anointed by Yahweh for a specific plan and purpose, you are a Messiah. Yeshua was the Messiah of mankind, but Donald Trump is the Messiah of America.
Because remember, America came into covenant with Yahweh the same way Israel came into covenant with Yahweh. Except George Washington was the one joining Yahweh and America into the covenant this time. And Donald Trump is the Messiah. As the book cover said, he's the Son of Man. So let me just give you a little background into this. There are two different prophetic roles in the Bible. The Son of Man is described in the Old Testament, the book of Daniel, I think. The Son of Man is supposed to act as a cosmic judge that comes right before Armageddon, takes political control over the country of Israel, and then sparks Armageddon. That's the Son of Man's role, and acts as a cosmic judge to determine who goes to heaven and who goes to hell or whatever. Jesus said that he was the Son of Man. He said, I am the Son of Man. I will take control and all that stuff. That's why Christians claim Jesus is coming back. When he comes back, he will be here in the role of Son of Man. He already came in the role of Son of God, which is why he died for our sins and all that stuff. So Jesus comes here the first time as Son of God, dies for your sins so you can be saved. He intended to come back as Son of Man. Well, the Trump religion now believes that Donald Trump is the Son of Man rather than Jesus. They think Jesus fulfilled his role as Son of God to act as your Savior, and now Donald Trump is the Son of Man to fulfill his role as a Messiah to bring about cosmic judgment to mankind. That's what the Trump religion believes now. With all that background in mind, let's listen to our first voicemail.
Hey, this is Alan from Indiana. Just wanted to get your opinion on what do you think would happen when Trump dies. I honestly think there's going to be somebody that comes up saying that they are Trump reborn or something like that. Just want to get your opinion.
Yeah, I appreciate that voicemail. There absolutely will be somebody who makes that claim. They're Trump reborn or whatever. The question is how many people are going to believe it? Like, there's obviously a religion built up around Donald Trump now, so either they could claim that Trump is reborn, somebody comes up out of the woodwork and says they are Donald Trump reborn, or they could claim that Donald Trump fulfilled his purpose as the Son of Man and kicked things into motion, and I don't know, now they're just sitting around waiting or something. I don't know. I don't know how things are going to play out exactly, but I can tell you this, it's certainly going to be interesting. The guy is very obviously, most definitely, a religious figure now, a messiah in this new religion of Trumpism. It's no longer Christianity. It's not Judaism. It's not Islam. It's Trumpism. It is an entirely new religion. It absolutely blows my mind that we have come here as a country. Insane. What happened to all that warning about false prophets and the Antichrist being worshipped as a substitute for Jesus? Did people just forget about all that? It's nuts to me that people are actually worshiping Donald Trump as a new Messiah, full-blown Messiah. Blows me away.
Hey, Owen, Jill from Minnesota again. I wanted to mention that Robin Bullock's been suspended from YouTube. I've been reporting his nonsense, and they finally put a stop to it. Unfortunately, not forever, but his channel is scrubbed, both his regular channel and his Church and International channel. And who knows if he'll come back, but right now his videos are gone. Thanks. Bye.
That's fantastic news. Although, sadly, Robin Bullock's channel was reinstated or restored or whatever else. Robin Bullock is another person that is a member of the Trump religion and the Trump cult. True believer. Let me just give you an example. This is a video of Robin Bullock absolutely losing his mind at the fact that people called him a false prophet because he prophesied that Donald Trump would be president again. Remember, this guy is a leader in the Trump cult, in the Trump religion. And this is an example of Robin Bullock losing his mind at people criticizing him because Trump didn't win the election. Even if he did secretly win the election, it was stolen. Why wasn't that the prophecy? Why wasn't it the prophecy that Donald Trump would win, but it would be stolen and blah, blah, blah? No, he said Trump will be the president in 2020 to 2024. He'll win, and he will be in the White House the entire time. Listen to Bullock's reaction to being criticized for his prophecy.
Apologize. Go ahead and apologize. Well, no! How about that? Just so you can hear me again. No! Because you are wrong. If this had no meaning to it and no prophet standing speaking today was, if they were all wrong, why don't it go away? How come it hasn't ever faded away? How come it's still a fight?
It is only a fight in this guy's head. There is a new president that was inaugurated and has been president for years now, and this guy cannot give up on it. There is no fight. There is no debate. This guy just cannot give up the fact that he was wrong.
If it was wrong and it wasn't true, then why are we still debating all of this?
Nobody's debating anything. This guy is just obsessed with the fact that he is a false prophet.
Folks, it would have already passed. You keep your doctrines. You keep your doctrines, but I'll tell you what, you are going to answer for trying to regulate the Lord's prophets.
Oh, I'm shaking in my boots.
You with your big educations. You're going to answer for trying to regulate a prophet of the Lord. and telling a prophet of the Lord that what God said is not true, but what you said is true, you're in trouble. You're in trouble now.
Just so deeply cringy. Look, I'm not saying that what God said isn't true, but what I said is true. What I'm saying is what you said isn't true, Robin. What he said is verifiably false. What he said was wrong. He claimed God told him something. That thing did not come to pass. That is how I know he is a false prophet. I'm following what the Bible instructs here, okay? And this guy is one of the cringiest people alive. Aside from the fact that he's one of the cringiest people alive, he is also a vector of vaccine misinformation and election misinformation, and every bit of information you can possibly imagine, he spreads it on YouTube, which is directly and explicitly banned by the terms of service. You're not allowed to spread vaccine misinformation or election misinformation or a number of other things. A whole bunch of stuff that you're not allowed to do. You're also not allowed to call other people demons or dogs or animals of various different sorts. He does it. He does it all. He violates the terms of service on YouTube on a regular basis and somehow gets away with it. This caller said his YouTube channel was temporarily removed. Well, it's back now. And unfortunately, he's continuing to this day to violate the terms of service and face no consequences for it. I have to follow the terms of service on YouTube, and it's a real pain in the ass sometimes. Believe me. I've had like 7 channel strikes in the past few months, all of which were repealed because I don't violate the terms of service. But it's stressful having to go through all of this and follow the rules. Why is it that this dude is capable of saying absolutely anything and not facing consequences, but deeply bothers me? Anyway, I appreciate the voicemail. It's pretty interesting. Hopefully we can get his channel taken down. If you notice specific videos with specific contents that violate the terms of service, then report it on his channel. I don't want anyone to go mass reporting him for absolutely nothing. Make sure there is valid reason. But, yeah, his channel should not be up at this point.
Hey, Owen, this is Chris from Maryland. I'm a really big fan of your content. And I had a similar upbringing to you, coming from an evangelical family. But anyway, I actually had a question that was not so much related to your YouTube content or your live stream content or whatever. I'm actually really curious about what kind of recording hardware and software and stuff like that you use. So I don't know if there's any other nerds out there like me who are interested in things like that, but some of us might find that pretty interesting. So thanks a lot for everything you do, man. Bye.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Interesting question. I started out with just a regular piece of shit webcam that I hooked up, like a USB webcam, and I was using that originally. Eventually I got an EOS Rebel T6i camera, like a Canon camera that I set up on a tripod and I record. I have to restart the recording every 30 minutes because it's a DSLR, which means it has a little... It's intended for photography, not for video recording, though it does do video too. So I started using that for video recording while live streaming, independently of the stream. Eventually I got a Canon EOS 90D, which is capable of 4K video and 29.9 FPS. That's a fantastic camera. In fact, that's what you're looking at right now. And then eventually I got, not the live stream people. The live stream people are watching something different, but when this goes live, they'll see the 90D. And eventually I got a stationary camcorder. So camcorders are really, really expensive. They can be like $3,000 for a decent camcorder. But if you get a stationary one that is not intended to move from place to place, one that connects to like HDMI and stuff, it's like half the price. So I bought one for $800 forever ago that does 1080p. I forget what the name of I forget the brand now. Let me just look out of curiosity. Yeah, it's a Prisual PTZ camera, Prisual. Prisual PTZ camera, 1080p. It's a live streaming camera, and it supports like wall mounts and stuff. Like I said, I think it was $800 when I bought it or something like that, and it's a decent camera. That's the one that the live stream audience watches. If you're not watching the live stream actively, then you're not seeing that camera. But I actually just purchased a new one that does 4K, and it's also a stationary webcam. This is an Avkins, AVKANS, 4K PTZ camera. Again, it's stationary, so that'll be useful. I'll have that next week, so that'll be pretty interesting. Anyway. Oh, and I use a Shure SM7B mic with a Focusrite Scarlett Solo audio interface. Yeah, I actually have two of these XLR Shure SM7Bs because one of them is broken. I had to buy a new one recently. So anyway, it works. It just sounds cloudy and bad. So anyway, yeah, that's my equipment. Thank you so much for asking. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Hey, this is Andrew from Saskatchewan, Canada again. You said the NIV version of the Bible is the least accurate but most readable by humans.
NIV is not the least accurate. NIV is plenty accurate, actually. And it's also readable, very readable by humans. That's what I appreciate about it.
If you get to pick, like, what's the most accurate translation of the Bible, what would it be? Thank you very much. Really love what you do.
I appreciate that. Well, it would depend, because, you know, there are like a billion different words that you can use in any context. So Leviticus 17:10 is the verse I think that Jehovah's Witnesses use to justify not taking blood transfusions, right? And the word there that is used in the Bible is something like do not eat blood, right? But depending on what you want that verse to imply, you could use all kinds of different words. You could use don't devour the blood, don't take the blood into your body. I mean, you can use any different set of phrases or terms based on what you think the Bible wants you, or the message you think the Bible is trying to communicate to you. Within reason, you can use all kinds of different types of words. There are some Bibles I've found that completely insert words that do not belong there at all. Like the AMP version of the Bible, the amplified version. That's a version that the Flashpoint people use. Flashpoint, that TV show on the Victory Network run by Kenneth Copeland. They use the AMP. And it is very much, it has like a right-wing slant to it. It's a terrible Bible. That's probably the least accurate version I've seen so far. But Bart Ehrman he contributed in a translation of a Bible. I think it's the NSRV is the version that he contributed to. And he tends to use that one a lot. And I trust his judgment on all things biblical. So I would suggest the NSRV. Yeah, new Revised Standard Version is what it's called. That's the one. I would recommend that one. But like I said, NIV is fine. NIV has no issues at all. It's more human readable. King James does have issues, though. I would not recommend King James version at all. It's terrible. I would say King James is one of the least accurate translations. Not the most, but one of them.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle from Virginia. You often mention that you're a wanted Jehovah's Witness. Would it be possible if you could explain why you were kicked out and how you coped with possible rejection by friends and family? I'm pretty sure it was really hard for you.
Yeah, I appreciate the voicemail. Yeah, it sucked. It was not fun at all. I was homeschooled when I was a teenager from, I don't know, maybe 12 to 16. I was homeschooled, isolated from society completely. It was very, very bad for me psychologically. I do not believe homeschooling is good for anybody. Anyway, after I went back to school, I had no human contact for 4 years. Zero. Except for my parents, who both had bipolar disorder and were train wrecks in their personal lives. And as a result, I just had no social skills whatsoever. So I go back to school and I start making friends for the first time. And the more friends I made, the more ostracized I was from the congregation, because you're not supposed to be friends with outsiders. So eventually it came to the point where I was hanging out with people, and I went to some parties in high school just to get to know the people and hang out or whatever. And I smoked a cigarette there. That was enough right there to get me disfellowshipped. At the time, I also had a girlfriend who I was not doing anything really, really wrong with in Jehovah's Witnesses' eyes. I was dating her. That was probably enough to get me disfellowshipped, what we did do, which is kiss and whatever. Yeah, I also drank some alcohol at that party, so I was just kind of living my life, learning what it was like to be a human being outside of the Jehovah's Witness religion, and those few little things are really what kicked it over the edge and got me disfellowshipped. I left when I was 18 and crawled in the window of this girl I knew from school and lived in her bedroom for 3 weeks, and it was miserable. Didn't talk to my mom for a long time after that, or anybody in my family. They ostracized me completely. It was rough. But I made it. It is possible to make it through, and I would never go back. I wouldn't make another decision differently. It was the best decision I ever made to leave.
Hello, Owen. This is Ron of Tennessee again. I was wondering, have you ever heard of Bo of the Fifth Column? He reminded me of an article I read a long time ago where Trump said that the Republican Party, he would like to join it because it's the most easy to manipulate. And Bo of the Fifth Column said that Trump spent kind of years being an independent, being a Democrat, and then he finally found the Republican Party because it was the easiest to manipulate. I wonder if you ever heard of that. Again, I love your show, and I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work, and take care. Bye.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I do know Bo the Fifth Column. Not personally. I know of his channel, and I love his channel, honestly. He's fantastic. Love the dude to death. Now, I did not hear about that article, and it doesn't surprise me to hear that Donald Trump was moving from party to party. I mean, I know Trump kind of believed in some Democrat positions, like he was pro-choice for years, up until like age 62 or something like that. So yeah, I know that Trump moved from like political position to political position, whichever was most convenient in the moment, it seems to me. And it wouldn't surprise me to hear that the reason that he had for doing that was because the Republicans are easier to manipulate. That definitely makes sense. You know, they've already spent years stripping their skepticism away. Naturally, it'd be a lot easier to take advantage of them, unfortunately. And we see a billion examples of them being taken advantage of right now. I'm in this private Donald Trump Telegram channel, 250,000 subbies on it. And not just this channel either. I'm in some QAnon ones and like Stu Peters, Praying Medic. I'm seeing them all over the place. These messages that are being posted that look like they're from Donald Trump, and they're like promoting these golden ticket things, this scam. $300 for a golden ticket. It was just a piece of gold-colored foil that you get in the mail, and it's supposed to be like a lottery ticket. Every 5 tickets pays out between $1,000 and like $100,000. The average is supposed to be $2,500. It's all made up. None of it's real. None of it. But people are spending $300 on these gold-colored tickets that they think are coming from Trump when they're not. Trump's golden ticket broke all records. More than 2 million tickets sold on the first day. Unfortunately, these are the last 10 hours. Only 150 tickets left. This is the last time you'll be able to order them. I personally ordered 70 for me and my family. Once you become a premium member, having this ticket, it doesn't say these, it says this, you will understand what I'm talking about. They stripped all skepticism from these people and then fleeced them for every penny that they own. Of course Trump went for the Republican Party. Of course they were easier to sucker. It is the most disgusting, what's the word I'm looking for here? The most disgusting, depraved. That's the word I was looking for. The most disgusting, depraved con I've seen in a long time. And the Republican Party is the perfect one to fall for it. Honestly sad. There is a scammer going through my comment section. David Pakman's dealing with this. A whole bunch of other people are dealing with this, okay? There are scammers in the comment sections of many YouTubers' comments right now, or videos right now. They're telling you that, you're a super fan, and if you message me on Telegram or on whatever, any other thing, if you message them there, then we can talk, and eventually, middle, it ends up coming to the point where they want money from you. And yeah, it's just a scam to get money out of people. Do not fall for it. I have a verified badge on my channel, so my name is highlighted. My name is Owen Morgan, parentheses, Telltale, or Telltale Fireside Chat, or whatever. If you don't see my name highlighted in the comment section, it's not me sending the message, okay? So just keep a lookout for scammers. It's a real problem. 99% of people don't fall for scams in general, but 1% of people do. And that's kind of the whole idea behind it. Just kind of get the odd person who hasn't really been around YouTube very much and doesn't know about verified badges or doesn't see through the grift or whatever. So just keep a lookout. Make sure you don't fall for any scams. I've been trying to block and ban and erase messages like that for a while, but I can only get so many of them, somebody went through the trouble of setting up an account with my name and my logo and everything for Telegram. It's insane. Who has the time to sit down and do this shit? I guess people just trying to scam other people's fans out of money. Just messed up, man. I heard David Pakman was having this issue, and I was like, weird. I wonder why I haven't had this issue. I saw a sign near a gay area last night that read, Bishop T.D. Jakes is an S predator. Interesting. I don't know if that's true. I know T.D. Jakes, I think he's Catholic, right? He's made a lot of enemies in evangelical and far-right circles, primarily for his takes on... He's like a televangelist, but he has very different takes on Christian nationalism than a lot of other evangelical people. Listen to what he has to say about Christian nationalism in this video he put out.
The church bought into the myth that this was a Christian nation. And once you get past that, which a lot of people are going to criticize me because they're still going to think it's a Christian nation, which is a whole different show. Mm-hmm. But once you begin to understand that democracy and that a republic actually is designed to be an overarching system to protect our unique nuances, then we no longer look for public policy to reflect biblical ethics. If we can divide, or what you would call separation of church and state, then we can dwell together more effectively. Because atheists, agnostics, Jews, all types of people, Muslims pay into the government then cannot reflect one particular view over another just because we are the dominant group of religious people in the country, because those numbers are changing every day. We need a neutralized government that protects our right to disagree with one another and agree with one another.
Perfect articulation of social contract theory. This guy understands exactly why we shouldn't encourage one religion over another, why we shouldn't give special tax exemptions or special privileges to one religion over another, and no religion should be involved in government to any degree whatsoever. It's a perfect articulation. And for that reason, this guy is deeply hated by the evangelical right. Now, I got a super chat a minute ago from Chris McDaniel. It says, I saw a sign near a gay area last night that said, Bishop T.D. Jakes is an S predator. I don't know if that's true, and I err on the side of skepticism until there's some hard evidence, some hard basis to believe it. That includes the criticism or the accusation against Kenneth Copeland. A woman accused Kenneth Copeland of trafficking her. Seriously.
So anyone that I'm naming bought me from Derek and did stuff to me. So if I'm naming, the only person I have named that didn't do stuff, but I saw him at parties, was Joel Osteen. He never did anything to me, but I did see him. I can tell you, since I've started speaking out, more women have come forward. I named Kenneth Copeland, and another brave soul, she's like, listen, I want to come forward. Will you share my post? And people went in and attacked her on her post for coming forward. I'm like, you're mad. You all said no one else is coming forward. And now when the women do come forward and say, this happened to me, I have the evidence. And then you're going to go attack them because you maybe were fooled by these pastors. And the same thing with Tyler Perry, Greg Laurie, Rick Warren, all of these pastors trafficked me, and we put them on a pedestal and made them gods.
You are bringing up, some major names here. I mean, even Billy Graham, okay?
I mean, I say a million times over, these cannot, like Billy Graham and the ones that have trafficked and done things to me and that are doing it now. And even when I've done these extractions, I'm like, they have a demon inside them.
I talked about it one time and made sure everybody listening understood that I was skeptical of that claim because there's no hard evidence of it. Yes, this woman knew these people at the time. It was around them at the time, but it was circumstantial. And there has been no investigation or charges of any sort coming from her claims. So I'm skeptical automatically of those types of claims, no matter who it is, whether it's T.D. Jakes or Kenneth Copeland or anybody at all. I just need evidence, a little bit of evidence, hard evidence, before I believe any of this. Political or religious ideology does not matter to me. I want to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible, even if those things relate to people who are absolutely terrible. I don't want to believe something that's false. So anyway, thank you so much for the super chat.